All right, now we've got a guy here called Dale Pinnock. Right. I haven't introduced him properly yet. Dale's first major cookbook, The Medicinal Chef, is out now. Features 80 recipes to improve your health through food. He is the medicinal chef. Dale Pinnock is a nutrition and health expert, in fact, a chef and an author. Dale's signature dish is the famous flu fighter soup, which includes garlic, sweet potatoes, shiitake mushrooms to help boost your immune system. So tell us the principle of the book. Basically, it's a cookbook, and with each dish, you can tell us what it helps either relieve or prevent.
Absolutely. I mean, really, it just showcases food as medicine. We know that food can be a very powerful and very valid therapeutic tool, but very often the information we get tends to be a little bit dull. This really brings it to life.
Now, we mentioned there the soup. So what does that soup do for me?
Right, the flu fighting soup. I mean, that is an absolute powerhouse. You spoke about the garlic in there. That's a very, very powerful antiviral.
Right.
Those things that give garlic the really, really strong smell, they can only be removed from the body via one route and one route alone, and that's through the breath.
Okay.
Yeah, as we breathe them out.
I wonder what you were going to say.
Yeah.
So did I.
That's the only way they can come out. As we breathe them out,
Sure.
they can kill bugs and viruses that are there on the mucous membranes.
Yeah, but you won't be very popular, will you, if you have too much of this?
Well, this is true. So if you've got a date or anything, probably best to avoid that one.
That's great.
Yeah, there's chilies in there, which are a decongestant. The shiitake mushrooms helps to give the immune system a real kick. So
Wow. Now, what have you bought in for us? You've done exactly the right thing, Dale. You bought some stuff in,
Bought
just
some
like
food.
Jamie and everybody else. Now, we've all got spoons and a dish full of stuff that looks a bit like porridge.
it's a funky porridge. Absolutely. This is a red lentil and coconut dal.
Right.
This is a lovely fusion dish that's very, very good for cardiovascular health.
Janie's tasted
That
it,
is sensational.
and Tim's tasting it
I'll
now.
be the judge of that.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Tastes like, has it got lentils in it?
Yes, it's lentil based. So lentils fantastic for lowering cholesterol. Can actually help to
very
carry
nice.
cholesterol out of the gut.
It's got a curry kick, is it?
It has. There's red chilli in there.
Lemongrass, definitely.
Chili and lemongrass, they actually help to widen the blood vessels. They stimulate the cells that line our blood vessels to secrete something called nitric oxide, makes the blood vessels actually dilate, which can help to temporarily lower blood pressure.
Are all these dishes, are all these recipes good tasting? Are there things that you've had to leave out because they taste good, but they don't do you any good at all?
Absolutely. I mean, for me, taste first. When I decided that I was going to eat healthily, if I thought for 1 minute my food would be dull, I would be straight back down the takeaway faster than you can blink. It has to be indulgent.
Yeah.
Just because it's healthy, it doesn't mean that it's all like beards and sandals and rabbit food and wonga wonga berries. It has to be really indulgent, amazing, decadent, beautiful food. Absolutely.
Well, I have a beard wearing sandals.
There's...
And look at me.
That speaks volumes, exactly.
Yeah, there it
You're
is.
not eating correctly, mate, I'll tell you. No, but there are a lot of meals in this book that you would recognise as regular meals, I suppose. You've got a
Absolutely.
great king prawn curry.
Yes, absolutely.
And one we were talking about off-air, the goat's cheese tart.
Goat's cheese and beetroot tart. What I like to do is kind of reinvent some of my favourites as well. I'm quite partial to pizza. I like a weekend curry.
Yep.
You can have all of those things, but just rejigging some of the ingredients and the way in which you prepare them, you can completely transform the impact that it will have on your health.
And why do you think, Dale, that doctors don't prescribe good food, rather prescribe antibiotics or medicine?
I think it's changing, if I'm really honest. I'm doing my postgraduate studies at the moment, and most of my fellow students on that course are general practitioners, and they're actually starting to really wake up and realise that self-care, self-management of issues is often the first place to start, especially when it comes to dealing with chronic issues. So I think it is changing.
Well, that's amazing, because, I mean, in the past, in sort of 7 years of training, doctors have only had 1 day in nutrition.
Yes.
So that is a huge difference. But Steve's question about this, I mean, if we look at hospitals, you know, where people are sick,
yes.
the food is not necessarily the most nutritious
Certainly
there.
not conducive
That's a
to
great
recovery.
point.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very complex, really. I mean, certainly within hospitals, there's cost elements with regards to how much they can actually spend per patient on food.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that certainly governs things. Not that healthy food needs to be expensive.
Well,
but
that's going to be my next question then. In that case, I mean, is healthy food less expensive or more expensive?
sometimes it can be less. Absolutely. I've proved it several times, actually. I mean, I did a documentary last year and we were working with these two girls from Croydon that were living in the YMCA there. These two girls, their weekly combined budget for food was £15. And we went around all the local markets, cooked things from scratch, and we were creating dishes that worked out 60 pence per portion.
Brilliant.
You know, you can really save money if you're sensible with where you actually buy your food.
Obviously, the book is full of healthy food. Would my entire diet have to change in order to get the best benefit from this?
I always just try and start with adding as much in as you can. You don't have to radically change things overnight because, to be fair, if you try and do that, chances are you'll fail in the long term. It's all about making small, subtle changes, even if it's just as simple as adding like a dense side salad with each meal, or making sure that you always eat a proper breakfast. As long as you're continually taking steps towards better eating habits, in the long term, eventually you will get a change of lifestyle.
That's what I really like about your approach, because when you go on in inverted commas diet, do you feel that you're depriving yourself? But your angle is sort of, it's not what you need to take out, it's what you add in.
All the amazing things you can add in, absolutely.
Dale's book, The Medicinal Chef, is out now in all good bookshops. Yes, you heard Dale Pinnock. Come back again and bring some more food. Thank you very much. Very good, Dale. Thank you. That's very instructive. Brilliant. Dale Pinnock.